Hello, hello, welcome. So right now, some simulated Bronx, whatever that account is created July 2, 2026. This was like a couple of days ago, so why am I gonna follow him? Okay, one message. What does he say here? AI viewers, streamboom.com. Not sure why they keep sending me this. I could, first of all, let me start my YouTube streaming. So I'm gonna go to over here. Let me close this. No, let me leave that one like that for now. Now I'm gonna click on here. I'm gonna click on live, go live, all right? And then now I have to go to my encoder, all right here, and press this button. Now, in a few seconds, I should be live. Let me change my screen to, hmm. Oh, that's because I got to change my settings here. And hide OBS. Great. So apply, press OK. Now, now I'm live. Great. I can close this. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on Twitch, right? Great. Why is it asking me to follow? Okay, I'll follow. Let me exit out. I'm not logged in here. Let me exit out. Nope, I'm not logged in. So that's because I don't have my credentials in this account. So this is not the time for this. I'm gonna X that out too. So now I want to bring my OBS to my second screen. Let's do that right now. There you go. And I'm going to maximize it so I can see it clearly. Great. So now let's go to our recent project. As of right now, I'm in Ferdy.com, and Ferdy's helping me out with this with the motion skill prompts that we're gonna learn today how to use skills prompt. And a skill prompt is similar to my triggers, except that my triggers are basic compared to a skill prompt. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the video real quick. He tells me
Search for
to go to
Higgs
search
fields.
Higgs field.
Enter.
So we're gonna go to search Higgs field, enter, and now this is what I need. Read more. This is what we need right here. So I don't need this right now, but I was thinking about taking this and pasting it so I could get a better understanding of what's a skill, a motion skill. So let's do that. Let's copy this over here. So we're gonna copy all this, right? All right, not all that, just up to here, control copy. So I'm thinking we should either paste it in my VS Code over here. Now I'm wondering, is this a skill on its own? There's a tutorial. It teaches how motion skills prompts work and tools like Claude, Code, and Cursor, and how to apply them in real web building workflows. Now I'm not gonna use Claude or Cloud or Cursor right now. I'm gonna keep using my VS Code, which is what I prefer using. It's hot in here. All right. So now, Mike, like I said, let's go to our Gemini chat box where I was prompting him questions about the skills prompts. So it's not this one. It's not this one. It's not this. It's probably this one. No, it's not. It's somewhere around here. Not this one. Yeah, it's most likely this one. Yeah, it's this one. So is emotion skill like a prompt? Yes, exactly. You can think of emotion skill as a highly specialized prepackaged prompt or instruction set. So in the context of modern AI, web builders and coding agents like Claude Code, Cursor, or Framer AI, emotion skills is essentially a way to feed the AI best practice for animation so it doesn't just output flat generic code. So here's a quick breakdown of how they compare. Standard prompt, you ask the AI, make this header animate when I scroll. The AI might give you a generic laggy CSS animation that feels robotic. Emotion skill is it acts like an expert, right? An expert add-on to your prompt. It injects specific instructions behind the scene, telling the AI to use professional animation libraries like GSAP, so GreenSock, right? To to user browser to use browser optimized properties like transform and opacity for smooth performance, or to apply realistic easing curves and spring physics. I would like for him to explain this right here. Now, let me put this in a different tab or browser window. What is this, right? In physics, spring physics typically refers to the study of how elastic objects like springs deform under an applied force and return to their original shapes when that force is removed. So let's make the correlation with spring physics and motion skills. So what is the correlation between, since that's what we're doing, right? It's based on coding and programming and web development, right? So in this case, and we're going to be using GSAP, which is it's an animation model, right? So what is the correlation between and motion skills prompts? All right, I want to make it obvious that that's what we're doing, working with here. We're not specifically working with physics. In the context of generative AI or game design, the correlation between spring physics and motion skill prompts comes down to using the mathematical rules of elasticity to create natural responsive movement through text instruction. When you ask an AI or a physical engine to simulate motions using spring principles, prevent the movement from looking robotic, rigid, or linear. Instead of introducing weight, momentum, and organic settling. So here is how the concepts map to each other in prompt engineering and animation control. Damping and stiffness, setting the vibe. In spring physics, stiffness determines how violently a spring pulls back, and damping determines how quickly it loses energy and stops shaking. In motion prompts, you translate these math concepts into descriptive adjectives. So yeah, I think we got the picture. There's no need to read all this as of right now because time is of the essence. So why it matters, if you're writing a prompt for a motion skill, an animation tool, or a game engine explicitly mentioning spring physics, overshoots, or elastic easing, tell the system to calculate the movement using mass and tension rather than rigid geometric paths. It is the secret to making digital interface, character animation, and visual effect feel alive. Great. So we got our answers there. Right? So spring physics deals with the motion, right? The not the stiffness. We don't want too much stiffness. We want more, what was the other word? Damping, right? Damping depends on the speed, the velocity, the motion. It transforms, right? So and damping determine how quickly it loses energy and stops shaking, stuff like that, right? In motion prompts, you translate these and math concepts and this descriptive adjectives, right? So high stiffness, low damping, all right, low stiffness, high damping, prompts like heavy, damped, sluggish, absorbing, stuff like that. Okay, we don't need to dive too deep into that. So let's go back to our main project. Okay, great. So tools like Motion AI Kit. See, this is where we didn't. This is where we fell off the rails again. The where was it that I created? I think no, this one. Okay, so basically the Edison analogy again, we went into Motion AI Kit, and Motion AI Kit is just an extension that we could use to create a better mathematical curves and make things look curvy or whatnot. You saw that on my last video, but I think that it wasn't a waste of time. We just learned what what not to do when we're using motion skills at the moment, such as we can't afford the subscription of Motion AI Kit, which is asking for $200+. Yeah, I'm not doing that. We can actually do this manually, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the math ourselves. If necessary. Okay, so we're gonna skip the Motion AI Kit, but let's keep reading, and then we skip what we don't need as we move forward. And this is one of them, tools like Motion AI Kit. In case you guys don't know what I mean by that, I forgot what's the command to open. I think I already closed Motion. I closed it, but if I put in here Motion Focus Editor, see preview, right? Like you see, this is what we were going to use. This is the interface, right? But it's not letting us use it because we need to buy it. Yeah. How many of these subscriptions are you going to subscribe to actually create these applications that we so dearly want to create? Web applications, control panels, what's the other one? Yeah, applications. I forgot the name of this. Let's say I'm trying to say this. So okay, so it seems to me like everything in here is something that I want to look over and I don't want to close. Like this is another one. So yeah, now I might be lost now. Wait, let me look. I don't want to lose the okay, so this is where we're at, right? It seems like this is the same window, except let me look for the other one. Yeah. Yes, it went all the way to the bottom. Yeah, so this is where we're at. And I showed you what I mean by the Motion AI Kit, which we're not going to use, which is this one right here. We're not going to use it because it's charging us. All right. So how many of these subscriptions are you going to buy in order to create, your artistic web application? You're going to spend hundreds and not thousands of dollars a month if you keep subscribing, right? So we're not going to subscribe. We're going to figure it out without paying in a free subscription. Okay, so let's keep it moving. So your AI coding assistant instantly knows how to build premium cinematic interactions instead of basic static layouts. Are you currently trying to figure out? Okay, so can you build me a transcript about motion skills or skill prompts? That's this over here. This is the final output of that prompt. I'm not too fond about it. It's just giving me key points, and I'm a hands-on type of programmer. So these are all not instructions, but explanations of how motion skills prompts work, or what they made out of, what you shouldn't do, what you should do. Basic prompt example, motion skills prompt example, build a landing page hero using our motion skills, elegant and restrained styles, GSAP timeline sequence and stuff like that, okay? But at the end of the day, I want to be able to build something. So let's go ahead and move forward. We're going to skip this section. So concise and technical, best for direct workflow, breakdown, create a tutorial, script, transcript. This is pretty much the prompt that created this over here. Why this why these improvements work. Define the role, clarify the trigger, set the output format, stuff like that. So do keep, oh, okay. So I prompted him, should I keep the quote? And then he said, and then he thought I told him to redo the prompt in some sense. Here is your improved prompt. No, I prompted him, why? No, I'm asking, do I paste the prompt with the quotes? He said no. Okay, great. So let's move forward. I like this one. Act as an expert AI prompt engineer and educator, right? And eventually, this is what created my transcript over here. All right. So he said, got it. Okay. So mastering AI motion skills. Okay. The problem with flat AI. And then let's see. Got it. That makes total sense. You want the AI to actually execute a specific custom routine of workflow that YouTube design using the original flow transcript as the internal system command to start generating the script. Since I am the AI, I will take that as my direct. I'm looking to see if I have any messages on my chat window. And I have two, but it's all right. Since I am that AI, I will take that as my direct cue to execute the workflow right now. Here's your full production ready tutorial transcript. Okay, so he says here, video tutorial transcript mastering AI motions. So we're gonna read through this just so we can get more information. The more informative you are, the more likely you are to deliver. And we're trying to deliver a site, a page. In this case, if I show you, we're gonna add some motion to this mini shop demo. Maybe we're gonna add a header here that provides some sort of movement, animation, or transformation. So let's keep going. This is for learning purposes, practical purposes. We are in the process of mastering our coding experience, so let's go ahead and move forward. So the problem with flat AI website, okay, visual cue, fast-paced montage of generic static AI generated websites transitioning into a sleek, ultra smooth 3D animated landing page. Okay, so he says speaker. With the speaker, I'm the speaker, right? So ever notice how most AI generated websites look kind of flat, right? You type in a prompt like build me a modern tech portfolio and the AI spits out a functional layout, but it completely lacks soul. It's static. And if you ask it to add animation, it usually throws in some robotic choppy CSS fades that look like they belong in 2012. But what if you could instantly upgrade your AI assistant design IQ, right? We're going to upgrade, in this case, Git Copilot, the design IQ. It's green. We're going to upgrade it, and we're going to do that with motion skill prompt, right? Or a trigger, right? What if it could write production-ready, butter-smooth animations using professional framework like GSAP or Framer Motion? That is exactly what we are mastering today. Welcome back, creators. In this video, we are breaking down motion skills and skill prompts, the hidden superpower behind high-end AI web design, and tools like Claude Code and Cursor. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's the first part. Standard prompt versus motion skills, right? So the cue is it's going to have a split screen. On the left is a basic prompt box. On the right is a skill prompt box glowing with extra data later. So first, let's clear up the terminology. What is the difference between a standard prompt and a skill, right? Think of a standard prompt as a temporary one-off command. You say, make this button animate on hover. the AI has to guess what you mean because you're going to give it enough information, right? It doesn't know your performance standards, your preferred easy and curves as your code style or your code style. It just guesses, right? So emotion skill, on the other hand, is a prepackaged set of expert behaviors and guardrails, right? Instead of teaching the AI how to animate every single time you type a prompt, emotion skill permanently injects a specialized framework into the AI's memory, and it transforms the AI from a general developer into a high-end motion designer before you even type your instructions. First of all, let's make sure that we got Ferdy's prompt over here, and I believe I do have Ferdy's prompt. So let me put it in my notepad for now, or should I convert it to an MD5? Let's put it first in my notepad. There you go. So we're gonna create another new notepad. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna paste it in one of these that I'm not gonna use ever again. So Control Alt, Control V. Nope. I'm gonna have to paste it copy it one more time. Oh, it does not work. That's slow. All right, great. So this is it. All right, Control Alt, Control V. Great. Well, look at that. This is plain text. Is there any way for us to view it in Markdown? It's not, but it looks great. So that's fine with me. Great. So let's keep it moving. And it's good because that's how we need to paste it anyway in plain text. Okay, so let's go back to what we were reading. If I could only find the page, here it is. Okay, so emotion skill, on the other hand, is a prepackaged set of expert behaviors and guardrails, right? Instead of teaching the AI how to animate every single time you type a prompt, the emotion skill permanently injects a specialized framework into the AI's memory. It transforms the AI from a general developer into a high-end motion designer before you even type your first instruction. Isn't that amazing, guys? See, I don't smile often, and I don't want to say the actual reason because then you're just bringing that into the realm of reality. Confidence, it has to do with confidence, and confidence is key when it comes to programming. Just about anything. You have to have the confidence. Now, when you think about confidence, you're thinking that you have to, when I say you have to have the confidence, it means that you have to have it. Okay, great. How do you have confidence? It's very simple. And I would like to connect a direct correlation with manifestation. Confidence deals with knowing that you're confident, and that's it. That's where it ends. You know that you're confident. That's it. As soon as you negate that or question it, that's when your confidence goes from here to here. Moving forward, people. Um, wise words. Those are wise words. Okay, so again, so we are here in our confident mode. Emotion skill permanently injects a specialized framework into the AI's memory. It transfers the AI from a general developer into a brain. So we read that. So how it functions behind the scene. An abstract code animation showing context. So this is the visual cue. An abstract code animation showing context layer. Dropping into a LLM window. Dropping into, okay, so how does this actually works under the hood? When you activate emotion skill in a coding agent like Claude Code, three critical things happen behind the scene. All right. Content injection. So I think one of the things we should do is prompt him to give us a prompt that we can enter into Claude so it can generate a skill prompt for us. We could probably do this right now and skip a little bit. Right, we could go over here and then open up Gemini again. And before we do that, we have to figure out, did I just? I really don't like when I do that. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, so we're here. So this is where we are. Okay. So it's bad to jump around. See what happens when you jump around? You get lost. So again, I mean, to get back on track, something's telling me I'm not in the same page. Guys, I'm sorry about that. That was a brain fog right now. Okay, so motion skill. Let's read this one more time so we can get back on track. So this is specialized type of skill prompt. It focused purely on web animation front end motion graphics. Instead of teaching the AI how to write or copy debug database errors, a motion skill teaching teaches the AI browser rendering rules, custom assessing faces, and how to write highly performing CSS and Java. Yeah, this doesn't look like what I was looking at in the beginning. Let me see. It's not this one. 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 It's not. It's probably this one. This is what happens when you have too many browsers open at the same time, and they all look identical, right? And you guys clearly know where I got lost because you're just watching. I'm actually controlling all this stuff at the same time, so you get a little crazy. So either way, it's definitely we were definitely here. No. Mm-mm. Yeah, this is the end. Let me go all the way to the top. So we skip this. The quotes, we skip the quotes. No, I'm asking about do I paste? Yeah, we skip this. And I believe we skipped this too. And we read this part. Yep. And this is part one. We did this part, the difference between standard and motion skills, how it functions behind the scene. All right, so we definitely skipped this eventually because we're not using Motion AI Kit, right? Lock down your tech stack. Decide if your AI should always use this GSAP speaker. You know what I could do is I could look at my video that I'm recording right now. Hopefully that works. And I can press F5. Wow, can't believe this. All right, and then I could just look at it right now with you guys. Hello, welcome. Let me bring down the volume. Welcome. So right now, and let's say I'm right here somewhere. Let me bring up the volume a little bit. What's the volume? Because I got this stuff right here. And this is like, it's just really bad right now. It's not doing its job. This eventually because we're not using Motion AI. So let me look all the way over here. We were around here. Yeah, we're around here. That's when the confidence goes from here to here. Moving forward. Um, um, okay, so I think I found it. It's this one over here. Emotion skill, on the other hand, is a pre-patched. Did this work? Okay, I had to close my mask camera because it looks like it's doubled over here. No, I'll bring it back later. I know you guys miss my face. So, yeah, either laugh or cry. All right, let's keep moving, guys. Emotion skill, on the other hand, is a prepackaged set of expert behaviors and guardrails. Instead of teaching the AI how to animate every single time you type a prompt, emotion skills permanently injects a specialized framework into the AI memory. It transfers the AI from a general developer into a high-end motion designer before you even type your first instruction. So let's go ahead and look for this page. It should be this one. Wow. Let me go ahead and copy this real quick. Actually, that's fine. I don't think we're gonna forget. You know what's really in my, well, I don't, excuses, my microphone. I just can't see the tabs. I got it like clipped in here on top of my screen right here. If you guys can see this, so you know what's going on. Up here, this is my microphone right here. So it blocks the tabs. So I get a little off track because of that. Anyways, so this is definitely where we was at. So again, so now we're here. Anatomy of a custom skill prompt, how to build one, right? When you create a custom skill for GitHub Copilot, but before, remember, we were, see, this is where I got lost. I was about to create one, right? But it already did one here. So let's just keep it moving. Let's just keep reading here. When you create a custom skill for GitHub Copilot, let me see something. Yeah, hmm. Yeah, this is did we read the other section? This seems to be a little different. Did I read so quick? Oh, right, so yeah, because we skipped a lot of stuff. That's why I'm a little off track right here. We definitely skipped a lot of stuff. My question is why? Let me see something. Let me go over here. Landing page. Okay, so he says speaker. Like, with the speaker, I'm the speaker, right? So ever notice how most AI generated? So I'm around here. Let me look at this. Where is my cursor? I can't see my cursor. Suppose I have a cursor here. Let me minimize it. The cursor has